let's talk about the year 2026, because by then, the business world is going to look, well, totally different. And the reason for that is artificial intelligence. It's not just a buzzword anymore. It's creating this massive, and I mean massive, performance gap between the companies that really get it and the ones that don't. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what it takes to be on the winning side of that divide. Let's dive in.
Okay, so first, let's make this personal. What does all this mean for you? This quote from venture capitalist Mary Meeker just hits the nail on the head. The threat isn't some sci-fi robot overlord coming for your job. Nope. The real threat is the person who masters these new AI tools to get faster, smarter, and way more effective. This is the new reality for us as individuals and, as we're about to see, for entire companies.
And believe me, that reality is already here. It's creating this tiny elite group. A huge global study from Accenture found that only 12%, just 12%, of companies have truly mastered AI to the point where it's driving serious growth. They call them AI achievers, and honestly, they're in a completely different league. This isn't a gentle curve. It's a small group way up at the top, and then there's everyone else.
So, that leads us to the real question here, right? What in the world are these top performers doing that's so different? Because it's not just about buying the latest tech. The difference is something experts are calling AI maturity. And we're about to unpack the 3 key pillars that define this maturity and really separate the winners from the rest of the pack.
The answer to that growing gap, it all comes down to that single concept: AI maturity. And this isn't just about whether you use AI tools. It's a measure of how deeply a company has woven AI into its very fabric, its strategy, its culture, its day-to-day operations. So, over the next few minutes, we're going to explore the 3 pillars that make up this maturity, starting with the one you can see and feel the most: the customer experience.
All right, pillar number 1 of AI maturity. This is a big one. It's a complete reinvention of the customer experience. For decades, businesses have relied on these static, predictable, one-size-fits-all customer journeys. Well, that old way of thinking, it's officially dead. The AI achievers, they're building something way more powerful, dynamic, one-to-one experiences that literally adapt to every single customer in real time.
This slide here just lays it out perfectly: the old world versus the new. On the left, you've got the traditional approach. Think of it like a static paper map. It's linear, it has all these predetermined paths, and it's for broad customer segments. But on the right, that's the modern AI-driven approach. It's like a real-time GPS. It's non-linear, it's totally adaptive, and it reroutes for each individual based on every single click, every single action they take. And what's powering this whole shift? It's a completely new kind of personalization. We're moving away from those old, clunky, rules-based systems, the whole if a user does X, then show them Y thing. The future is all about generative personalization. So instead of following these rigid rules, the AI actually learns from behavior and context to personalize every single interaction, and it's constantly adjusting on its own. It's the difference between reading from a pre-written script and having a real, improvised conversation.
But, and this is absolutely crucial, you can't build that amazing, dynamic customer experience on a shaky foundation. That brings us to our second pillar of AI maturity, and it's all about the groundwork, building an ironclad system of data, trust, and governance. Without this, even the most advanced AI is going to fail. This is the part that is completely non-negotiable.
Everything we've been talking about, every single personalized interaction, every predictive insight, it all runs on one thing: data. High-quality, unified, and well-governed data isn't just some technical asset anymore. The truth is, it's now the single most important competitive advantage a company can possibly have in the age of AI. Okay, so how do you actually manage all that data responsibly? Well, it comes down to a really strong governance framework. This slide breaks it down into 5 core foundations. You need clear policies, right? Defined roles so everybody knows who's accountable. You need continuous risk assessment to catch things like bias or errors. Transparency, so you can actually explain how your AI is making decisions. And finally, constant auditing, to make sure you're actually following your own rules. All right, so let's recap. You've reimagined your customer experience, and you've built that solid data foundation. Now, the third and final pillar is where it all comes together. This is about taking those new capabilities and using them to rewrite your entire business strategy. See, AI isn't a feature you just bolt on. It demands a fundamentally new playbook for an AI-native world.
And just look at this slide to see how fast the game is changing. It's kind of wild. In just the last half of 2023, more than 2,000 new marketing tech tools hit the market. And get this, nearly 3/4 of them were AI-powered.
The tools that businesses run on are being fundamentally rebuilt around AI, and it's happening so fast. Trying to compete without them, it's like showing up to a Formula One race on a bicycle.
This new AI-native strategy, it requires a profound mental shift. I mean, for the last 2 decades, business has been completely dominated by what we call the search economy. People had a question, they typed it into a search engine, and companies fought tooth and nail for those clicks. Well, that entire paradigm is now basically obsolete.
So if the search economy is over, what's next? Well, welcome to the answer economy. More and more, consumers are just skipping search engines and going straight to AI models for answers and recommendations. And this raises a fascinating and kind of scary new question for every single business leader out there. How do you market your product not just to a person, but directly to an algorithm? Your new target audience is the AI itself.
So we've covered the 3 big pillars that separate the winners from, well, everyone else. A dynamic customer experience, a rock-solid data foundation, and a whole new strategic playbook for this new answer economy. Now let's bring it all home and make it tactical. How can you start figuring out where your own organization stands on the path to becoming an AI achiever?
This checklist here is a fantastic starting point, and I want you to really think about these. Don't just ask if you're using AI. Ask the hard questions. Is your data infrastructure truly unified across your product and marketing teams? Do you have a real cross-functional ethics council, or is it just for show? Are your AI projects actually tied to measurable business goals? This is how you move from just playing around with AI to actually achieving something with it.
Let's end right back where we started. That gap between the 12% of AI achievers and everyone else is getting wider, and it's getting wider fast. As Accenture put it, this is no longer a choice. It's not some technical project you can just hand off to the IT department. Advancing your company's AI maturity is the fundamental strategic opportunity and the biggest challenge facing every single leader today. The only question is, which side of the divide are you going to be on?